Tarot on a very, very dark new moon in Pisces, which happens to be one of the most phenomenal new moons of the year because it's no ordinary new moon. You've probably heard all the other astrologers pouncing on this breaking news story of Uranus entering Taurus, big shift, and Mercury stationing at 29 degrees of Pisces, which is where Chiron just was. So we've got these major things happening at the same time, like a confluence of energy, all happening simultaneously, unveiling a very powerful story for this new moon, which, what is it telling us? This is what we're going to try to get to the bottom of. And the energy of this new moon is very much the moon archetype of Pisces, or the tarot. The 18th major arcana is the Pisces archetype. And as you can see, there's this little sea creature trying to make his way up from the depths. We can barely see him. And this is it's a metaphor for all of that material that's trying to surface from our dreams, from the depths of our unconscious right now. And it's up to us to pay attention to what's happening and to look at what some of the symbols and the stories are that are emerging from the depths of our unconscious during this new moon. So we've got to do the dream work, we've got to do the introspection, and treat our waking life like a dream, in the sense of really looking for the omens, the synchronicity, and the meanings that happen in seemingly mundane exchanges. There's always a deeper message if we're really conscious and really awake and really vigilant. And this is the deeper meaning of the Pisces season, is realizing this is all a dream, but we must stay vigilant and very much awake while we are in this dream. So what does it mean that Mercury is retrograde at 29 Pisces as we start this new moon in Pisces with Neptune? I mean, it's like Pisces all over the place, and I'm coming to you from the rainy city. Suddenly we're like a rainy city, San Francisco. I used to always say, oh, I wonder if it'll ever rain here. Now it will never stop raining. When it rains, it pours, as they say, right? And but that's the energy of Pisces, like water everywhere. It's Pisces. There's so much of a deluge happening, so you might be feeling emotionally overwhelmed. You might be feeling in the dark. Many of my clients are like, what is going on right now? It's so heavy. I can't see what's in front of me. I've been calling it a chrysalis, a time of a chrysalis, where because we can't quite see what's coming, we are compelled to turn inward and to focus on the inner journey right now until the light returns and we can see where we're going. But until then, we're in this chrysalis, which requires us to wait patiently until we get the right signals that it's time to reemerge, which might not be until the equinox, is my feeling, because that'll be our last, which actually one of my favorite colleagues, astrological colleagues and friends, Venus in Vesta, Anne Louise Holland, she's a brilliant writer, you should check her out. She made this incredible connection that the last the last four, and this will be the fifth full moon in tropical zodiac, they've fallen at the 0 degree mark, which is the Fool or Uranus energy again. So there's again that theme of like ground zero, being in the unknown, what's coming, not quite sure where we are headed on the other side of the cliff. So if you think of the Fool, it's like, what, we can't see. We're going into the unknown and we have to trust our instincts. And Uranus, just about to ingress, he's been in Aries since 2010. He's just about to enter Taurus. So look to the Taurus area of your horoscope to see where you're also going over a cliff into the unknown. And Taurus rules the throat. My voice is doing some crazy unknown Uranian changes. I have like a different voice all of a sudden, and I'm not sick. I don't know why my voice just decided to change into this new kind of, I feel like Louise Jefferson voice now. And I've also noticed with Uranus about to go into Taurus that everyone, of course, you've noticed the Marie Kondo, everybody's Marie Kondoing their life because there's no more room for stuff. I mean, it's like the landfills are over capacity. We don't need all this stuff. It takes up too much space in our psyches, in our lives, in our hearts, in our minds. We just don't have room for all this clutter, so we're condoing it out. And I think that theme is going to continue with Uranus and Taurus. And also, our value system is undergoing a deep revolution with Uranus and Taurus. So the way we look at money, the way we deal with our value system and our personal possessions, all of that is undergoing deep change. And we're in a big Venus year. Let's not forget this too. So we're in a Venus and a Neptune year. Neptune's in the home sign of Pisces all year long. I mean, he's been in Pisces. But this new moon is conjoined Neptune. And so that's very significant. Neptune is the modern ruler of Pisces, where Mercury is, where Chiron just left. There's all this baton handing over because Chiron just handed it over to Aries and Uranus just handed it. Wait, let me get this straight. Okay. You can tell Mercury is stationed. I'm trying to be somewhat articulate. It's not easy. So Uranus is just leaving Aries, where Chiron just entered. Chiron just left Pisces, where Mercury is entering, to help us make sense of what we just went through with Chiron in Pisces. So now we have a chance with this Mercury retrograde to hopefully make it intelligible, to process, to understand, to make conscious those deep Chiron and Pisces lessons of soul wounding, deep soul wounding, where we play the victim in our lives, how that's harmed us, where we need to forgive, become more compassionate or empathic. And where we need to get in touch with that deep divine soul longing, where addictions have run the show and caused us self-undoing, and where the addictions were our attempt to replace the longing for something of the divine. Often, it's usually a spiritual crisis, they say, addiction. So we're asked to look at that now through the lens of Mercury retrograde and maybe revisiting some of those stories. A lot of people have said like these deep old soul wounds that they haven't felt in years, if not decades, have resurfaced out of nowhere, like this sea creature coming out from the watery depths, right? Why is it happening now? And we've also got now with Mercury retrograding in Pisces, this theme around like I said, paying attention to your dreams, maybe your unconscious speaking to you in song lyrics or in poetry or symbolism or synchronicity. It's often not typical Mercury logic. Mercury in Pisces, Mercury's not happy in Pisces, it's not the logical, but it's great for music and creativity and dance. And poetry and devotional practices is excellent for all those things. So we can take advantage of that, but it's not so great for trying to be on track with the details and the facts and the figures and all of that. That's where we get into some trouble when we're trying to do Mercury and the nitty-gritty. It's Pisces is chaos and murky, watery depths. So we have to just go with the flow with Mercury and Pisces and do the deep introspection, do the soul work during Mercury retrograde in Pisces. Okay, we covered Mercury retrograde in Pisces, Uranus going into Taurus, shifts in the body, shifts with the throat chakra, shifts with our value system. And what's the other one? The new moon in Pisces, seeding our dreams. Now, this is not just like, what's your dream? But this is really, I even saw this beautiful, actually I watched this morning this beautiful, I never watched Marie TV, but for some reason, over the last week, I've been watching this show. Everyone always talks about it. I've been more fascinated with it recently. And she had this beautiful interview on this morning with this woman talking about, and I'll put the link under my video so you can hear it. You can watch it if you want, but it was so beautiful about how hearing, I feel like this is really the Pisces thing, and the story is that by hearing, by somebody asking this woman what her dream was, before she had a dream, she had only taken on, she tells this really powerful story about how she'd only taken on the unconscious expectations from generation to generation and hadn't thought about the potential of her breaking through, which we often do. We just take on like whatever the unconscious expectation or storyline or narrative is from great-grandmother to grandmother to mother to us. And what it would take, and the way she broke through was to have the dream, for someone to ask her what her dream was and for her to articulate the dream. And to move forward with her dream by taking action, but she had to first hear it, articulate it, write it down, believe it, and then move toward it. And I feel like that's the Aries to Pisces energy that we have to do. And new moon in Pisces is really our opportunity to conjure up the dream, to allow the dream to emerge in the symbolic form, in the imagery, to get the imagery, to get the vision of it, to really focus on how it looks, how it feels. And this is the time people do vision boards. It's a very magical time. So this is working with the dream and also working with your dream. So it's the dream that you want to dream into reality, what we call reality, and it's also you paying attention to what's going on in your dream life. This is the beauty of Pisces. Pisces has its glamorous sides and it has its paranoid, dark, murky, dealing with, this card is often called the card of final karmic testing, and that's definitely been a big theme. And I've been saying in this chrysalis, a lot of poisons have been churned up, and there's been a lot of things needing reconciliation and release and purgation and purification in order to move into the new chapter. And a lot of things need forgiveness and healing, and we have to find a lot of compassion and empathy for ourselves and others in order to move through into the next chapter. So this is a good time to look at where you may still be holding on, whether it's to your physical old possessions where Uranus is trying to get you to break out, or your old value systems, your old attachments, things that are just keeping you stuck in the mud or the muck, and to allow the liberation and the new energy to really move through into this new chapter. It can be a really exciting chapter, but first we have to be okay with the unknown, because there's still a lot of unknown out there that we're wading through. But let's see what happens. We'll do another check-in when we get to the full moon in Libra in a couple weeks, if not sooner. Next week's the first quarter moon in Gemini, so maybe we'll check in then, hopefully. Okay, thanks so much for watching.